Welcome to Besties and Bubbles.
Welcome, friends.
Cheers.
Cheers, cheers, cheers.
Yay.
Besties and Bubbles. I love our name.
Mm-hmm.
Besties and Bubbles.
I love it too, and I love podcast day. So
we always love podcast day.
We do. It's the best day. It's the best day ever.
And actually, we had some technical difficulties the last time we tried to do this, and so it was like a little delayed.
It's a little delayed, but you know what? That's life.
I know, and we're glass half full kind of gals.
Yeah. I mean, if at first you don't succeed, try again.
Exactly. So here we are.
Yeah.
Just so you know,
here we are.
So easy sometimes.
Here we are. This is very true.
We're not really technical people.
No.
So
technically speaking.
Technically speaking. So we do struggle with it, but I think we managed. We made it through, and hopefully this is going to turn out and sound really good for you guys. So that's good.
Yeah, and it actually is kind of interesting because what we just went through kind of goes with the topic that we want to talk about today.
It is very, very true.
Right?
Yes. I sent you something a while back that really stuck with me, and it has motivated me, to just change little things throughout my day. And so I really hope that is what our listeners get from this. But if you do what's necessary, if you do what's hard now, it'll be easy later.
Yes.
But if you do the easy way now, it's going to be hard later.
So that is very interesting, right? And I mean, it makes sense in certain things, right? But I think what's even more interesting, and we're going to talk about the different ways, right? How it pertains to your life, whether that's, diet, exercise, health, finances,
again and again,
relationships, whatever that looks like. And hopefully friends will resonate with it. We'd love to hear your feedback on it as well, because again, we're not experts, we're just experienced, and this topic really did kind of resonate with us. But one of the things that I thought was interesting, and we were just talking about this, and we did look it up, is why do we want to do the easy things?
Yeah.
Because, you've often said as my trainer, when you're working out, right? If your body gets fatigued, your form shifts and changes because your body wants to do what's easier.
Yes.
Right? So
yes. Your body, you're going to choose the path of least resistance.
Right. Yeah, you're not going to do something that's hard when you're tired and whatever. But the fact that your body chooses that way kind of subconsciously
it does
to you, I thought was interesting. And we didn't know the answer to that. So we asked the internet. Yes, we went to the interwebs, and what did the interwebs say,
it said,
Tracy?
Our brains are wired for survival, comfort, and immediate reward. So innately, our brains are wired that way. So it's just easier if I'm in bed for the night already and I'm just like dozing off to be like, I'll worry about tomorrow morning cleaning up the kitchen and setting out my, getting dressed and stuff. Because it's comforting. It's comforting.
Because you're already in bed and you want to go to sleep.
But the best thing to do if you want to have a successful morning and not be rushed with the kids or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Is to make sure before you go to bed that you lay the clothes out, right? And then you make the lunches the night before. Right. And you clean up the kitchen. And, that's the harder thing to do. Right. But that is going to make your easier morning. And that's just one example. But it makes sense that our brain wants to do the easiest thing because we're wired for survival.
Yeah.
This is not a matter of fact that I'm not going to survive the night if I don't get up and do what I need to do. Right.
But it's just how we as human beings are naturally wired.
Yes. And immediate reward would be that I get to stay in bed and cuddle and doze off into sleep.
Right. Absolutely.
It'd be harder to get up and get. So this has really hit me very, very heavy, and it started to shift my mindset. And so we looked it up. Hard now equals easy later, but easy now equals
hard later.
Yeah. And that's the kind of stuff that we wanted to talk about.
Yeah. And I think that, it's all about choices, right?
Everything.
Really, when it comes down to it.
Right.
And it is all about choices. And, it's not to say that if one time you stay in bed, and you take care of something in the morning because you can, maybe it's a weekend or you're off work or whatever the case may be, because you really do need the sleep because you didn't have a good night's sleep before or whatever that case may be.
Right.
But that's really what it all boils down to is choices and the choices that we make. And actually, it's choices, it's consequences. Like, we all have to live with the choices that we make, whether they're positive, negative, neutral.
Exactly.
Whatever that looks like.
So we looked at some categories, and I want you guys to pay attention because we're going to challenge you here to pick one category.
Yes.
One thing that you can start to do different, and then let us know how it goes, because I really think that this is valuable. So in the category of physical health, okay? We know this because we're 55. We work out almost every day. Mm-hmm. I did not work out today.
In some way, shape, or form, unless there is something going on.
Yes.
Yes. And that includes just walking. Walking is amazing.
It also means that I had a salad for lunch today and not a burger that my boyfriend was eating.
There you go.
Salad.
Yeah.
So I think we tend to make those choices now. And if you're like us, you're making choices where your physical fitness is important to you, your health, whether it's going to the doctor and regularly, to have the checkups and things like that.
Right.
Or it's making good, healthy food choices. Or if it's just getting help if you're overweight and you're working on weight loss, there's a lot of help out now. There's a lot of help out there.
There's
for people
so much out there
that
right
are
now.
Overweight, right?
Yeah.
If you do those difficult things now, whether it sucks your time, your money, sacrifices. I really wanted the burger, but I ate the salad today. That kind of stuff. Those are the hard choices now.
Right.
But it's going to make our life easier later when we're down on the floor with our grandkids.
Yes. Well,
and we can get up off the floor.
Right. And let's face it. Studies have been proven across the board that moving your body is probably the single best thing that you can do for your health on a daily basis. Like, you gotta move daily. Right? And again, we talk, it's as easy as walking. Everyone should be able to get 30 minutes of walking in. It doesn't have to be all at one time, right?
Right.
10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, whatever. But the bottom line is the things that you're going to do today for your physical health, even in your 40s and 50s and 60s, will benefit you later in your 70s, 80s, and God bless 90s or 100s,
Today is day one.
Yeah.
So don't look back and be like, I haven't been paying attention to this or that,
It's never too late.
Never too late.
Never
if
too late
to start today and do the hard stuff, go to bed earlier. I've been shutting my TV off before going to sleep. I used to just go to sleep with it on a sleep timer.
Yeah.
Because I know my sleep is really important to me. So I've been doing that better too. So skipping workouts and eating whatever you want, that's easy. But hard later could be chronic pain. It could be fatigue, illness, loss of independence. Where I spend some time at senior living, the people that haven't taken care of themselves, they're not able to be walking around even with a walker and doing the things that they can do.
This is very true.
So I see this played out very, very close. So another category.
So your mental and emotional health. And I actually think that the physical kind of goes with the mental and emotional health. I know for myself personally, if I don't get the physical activity in, my mental and emotional perspectives are they're not in line. So,
and I think the opposite is true too. If you are mentally well, you are thinking, I need to go work out. I need to eat better. So I think they do go hand in hand for sure.
Yeah. But I also think that just learning, we all have those days where we just feel yucky, even though things can be perfectly fine. We do have those yucky days. And if we have the tools, again, knowledge is power. We talk about it all the time. to help get us through, those would be the easy things to do to help us later on, so that it doesn't turn into something that's difficult.
So the easy now would be avoiding feelings or avoiding people in your life you have to have those tough conversations with. Maybe you're in a bad relationship and you just want to act like they're like everything is fine. That, or self-medicating, that also comes up in this category too, right? But hard later, it will, if you do those easy things, then you're going to have burnout, breakdowns, damaged relationships, right? If you don't take care of your mental health now and do the work now, it's only going to be worse later.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, right? So it's about choices. The choices we make now will have some type of impact on us later.
Absolutely. And if you're making the easy choices now, it's most likely going to be harder later. Yeah. So we're going to encourage you to keep making the harder choices. This is a category I know you're very passionate about.
Yeah, I am passionate about it, and it's with your finances. Again, doing what's easy now as opposed to later. We talk about having control of your finances. If you're a person that, makes a good living, yet you feel like you're living paycheck to paycheck, or you don't have enough in savings or what have you, then you don't know where your money's going, right? And just like, we talk about physical and emotional, your finances, those are very important, right? Like it.
And how hard is it to be on a budget? Yeah, I know that recently you were talking with somebody. So the hard stuff now looks like what?
The hard stuff now is living below your means. Yep. Right? Creating a budget and actually itemizing every single, I'm not going to say penny because I'm not that anal, but
they don't even make pennies anymore.
Well, you know what I mean. To the cent. I'm okay rounding up. In fact, I round up everything dollars. But knowing where your money's going. Yeah. Right? So that it's, if you have, hopefully everyone has financial goals, right? And if you're feeling like you can't reach those financial goals, you should know where your money's going. Right. Paying off debt. The easiest thing to do is to get a credit card because you can get one. And, if you want to buy whatever, furniture, clothes,
a new
jewelry, a new TV, whatever that looks like, because you're like, oh, well, I can pay that later,
The hard later is that you're going to have debt.
Yeah.
You're going to have a lot of stress about that. You're going to be even tighter when it comes to month. And then what happens when the furnace goes out and you can't make that credit card payment for the TV or whatever, right? That's the stuff we're talking about, right? If you do the hard stuff now and save, you'll have that in the bank when your furnace goes out. Or you'll be able to take that trip that your friends are all going on and you're like, we have no money to go on this trip to Greece.
Right. Or, look at your retirement. Yeah. You'll have enough money in your retirement.
Retirement is huge. I think that's the biggest point, honestly, is because now we're getting to the point, right, where how long are we going to work, and we've talked about that. Yeah. But
well, how long are we going to live also? Right. We're living longer and longer. So in order to live, money does make the world go round. Right. So those are facts.
All right. Personal growth and learning. I think this is an important one because I know that we're also big. It's very easy right now to just stay comfortable.
Yes.
To not want to change.
We don't like change. Fine. Clearly, our brains do not like change.
Yes, right.
Right?
But hard later, and we're actually going to talk about this on our next podcast, is if you feel stuck, if you're feeling outdated, you're less confident because you're not growing as a person. It's harder now to stick with a plan. It's harder now to maybe get the book or watch the podcast instead of just listening to music. You're investing your time and your energy into something that's going to promote growth, personal growth and learning. And that's way better. And it'll make things easier because you're going to have more problem solving skills. You're going to be in a better place. So I think that that's important. Oh, I love this one too.
Yes. So home and life organization. I mean, I think we've all seen, pictures of what hoarders' homes look like.
Sure.
Right? Like how do you even live that way? Or maybe you've been to someone's home before and you're like, yee, like, how do they even know where like their dishes are or whatever? That's probably extreme, but
it could
who knows? It could happen.
Yes.
And that's not to say that we all don't have a junk drawer in our house or,
it's literally called the junk drawer.
Right. A certain area that we just put things in there. But we have talked about, organizing, decluttering, regularly going through, there's the old adage that says, go through your closet. And if you haven't worn something in a year, it's got to go, so to speak, because sometimes things that are old are new again, but
you can donate that and bless somebody else with it too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right.
Absolutely.
And we've talked about some of this stuff, but maintaining systems, calendars, those things are difficult. They're difficult to do, planning ahead, all that kind of stuff. The easy thing is just to put things off.
Yeah.
And then you're looking for something and you're like, or the lights go out, right? And you're like, we don't have batteries in the flashlights and all this kind of stuff, right? But we've talked about once a month just picking one area of your house and spending a day or a weekend where you just pay attention to it.
Yeah, whatever that looks like.
Declutter, fix up, and so you can do better in that space.
Right.
So I think that's where I think it's easy, the home life and organization. I actually just went through, I was so sick of finding the Tupperware things that didn't match. And I had so many water bottles and I was like, I shoved something in there and then I shut it and I heard it fall and I was like, ugh. And then I heard this in my head and I'm like, I have a couple
You're going to do it. Yeah.
Sat down on the floor, opened everything, took everything out. Now I love opening up that cabinet because it's all the drinking things are all, organized by whether they're a Yeti or this or that and all the Tupperware. And anyway, it just makes me feel better about one cabinet because I spent a little time organizing it.
No, and you know what? Again, it's finding the balance and making the choices.
It's true.
If it's a beautiful day outside, and you know what? Maybe you don't get beautiful days much in the spring like we do here in the Midwest, then go outside and have fun. Mm-hmm. But mark it somewhere so that you'll get back to it. And we're also big list people. Keep it on your list. You're not crossing that off, but you can come back to it also. But it's there. It's always a constant reminder.
Do you see it with career and work where it's easy now to just do minimal effort? Maybe it's the not going back to school, blah, blah, blah. And then harder later is you're kind of stuck.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is probably more, well, I shouldn't say more. I think this is actually critical for young people that maybe are on the fence of what it is that they want to do. And to be honest, to be 18 years old and like having to have your whole entire life figured out career-wise, to me is crazy, but here we are. This is what happens here, But I think that, surrounding yourself with good people, which again, we've talked about.
Yep.
And, really investing, like career and school, that's investing in yourself.
Absolutely.
Right? So whatever you do, whether it's going to college, whether it's getting into the trades or some type of specific training, that is particular to a line of work, the military, like whatever that looks like, so that you can help differentiate yourself and have the knowledge of something that not every one of us has, right?
You're just going to have more opportunities the longer you're in a position that's got growth. If you went to that schooling and you're learning that trade, you're going to consistently make more money. I mean, that's an easy reward.
Yeah.
But it's down the way. Are you going to take the time and go to school? Are you going to do the extra studying? Are you going to, eat ramen noodles, and
it really depends on what you want.
Because you have to pay for school yourself, whatever it is.
Right.
But that's the hard stuff now, but it is going to make your life easier later.
Yeah.
Time management.
I agree.
Time management. Building routines. It sucks.
It does. But you know what? As human beings, we thrive on routine. We do. Children especially.
They do.
Thrive on routine.
That's true.
Like when everything is willy-nilly.
Right.
And maybe that's, a special time for vacation or whatever it is. Kids love routine, and secretly, I think adults do too.
Right. But in my example of like having a better morning tomorrow means I have to get organized the night before. It's a time management thing, right? It's going to alleviate stress the next day. Like we had just the other day, I had class set up. Thankfully, I had class set up because at the last minute, I had to leave.
Yes.
And I left class in your hands and I said, I'll be back. It was a family emergency. And had I not been prepared early enough, I wouldn't have been able to do that. Yeah. It's just, I know this stuff just keeps happening. I think the biggest thing that makes the most sense is your future self and aging well. If you don't do the hard stuff now, taking care of yourself now, what are your sunset years going to be like?
Yes, our sunset years. But the sunset years are the years that you want to enjoy, right? I mean, it's a journey, yes, and you're following the path when you're younger, and things can change, of course.
Right.
But it is about, setting goals, which we do talk about, and what it is you want in life.
Exactly.
Right? I mean,
exactly.
I guess you could choose the easy path for everything if there really isn't anything that you long for. I mean, who knows? Again, it's your choice.
It's true. I guess that could be where you just spend what comes in and eat what you want and all that stuff. But I am thinking long term.
Yeah.
And I hope our friends are too, because we're living longer too. And we live longer than men.
Women do historically live longer than men.
Yeah.
And I just think that, more and more, I'm going to say people, but I will also say women are like reinventing themselves the older that they get, which I think is something that we're going to talk about later. But this all plays a part of it. It's doing the harder stuff now so that, when you are in your 60s and 70s, maybe there's things that you could do that you never thought about.
And that's when the easy part is.
Yes.
So
that's the having
we thought
fun,
this was great.
Part.
We would love to challenge you guys to pick one area that we talked about. Just one.
One. Yes.
Pick one hard
physical, financial,
something
emotional.
That's hard, and start doing the hard stuff first.
Yeah. The little bit of the hard stuff. It could also be as easy as making sure all your laundry's done on a said day, making sure
we talked about meal prepping. Yes,
meal prepping.
Yeah.
Sunday's a big meal prep.
But if health is your goal, then you gotta know what you're going to be eating the rest of the week.
Or even finances.
Absolutely.
Finances are huge for meal prepping because you're not spending money,
true.
Going out, or maybe, you're making
grabbing something.
You're making your coffee drinks at home, or whatever that looks like.
Maybe
right?
You're going to figure out how much you spend in Starbucks and say, I'm not going to drink Starbucks for a month, and I'm going to put that money in savings or towards a trip or something like that.
Or paying off debt or whatever that looks like.
That's the hard stuff that we're talking about. So we hope that something resonated with you in one of these categories, and we ask you to take the challenge with us and just pick one thing to start doing the hard stuff so it is easy later, and stop doing the easy now because it is going to get harder. So those are our thoughts for today. Tell us what you think.
I was going to say, friends, let us know. We
love that. We love feedback. Yeah, we do love feedback. So.
We do. So cheers to you and cheers to us.
Cheers to us doing the hard stuff.
Yeah.
We like it.
Yeah.
It's good for you.
Hard stuff now, easy stuff later.
Cheers.
Ciao.